wanted to talk to you about is ChatGPT, generative AI. And yes, we can talk about Gemini or Copilot, but I'm pretty enamored with OpenAI's platform. And the reason why I'm enamored with it, because they have gotten us to a place where you can have the actual product on your computer. I have a Mac, so I have the downloaded app for my computer, and there is the web login as well, that platform. But what I'd like to do is share my screen and let's kind of have a little fun. And I'm coming from an education arena, meaning I'm an educator by trade. So this is ChatGPT. We have, and there's a lot here. So I'm going to maximize this just for a moment. This is the web platform. It's interactive, and you have GPT 3.5 for an O. I've heard it called Omni, but when I watch YouTube for OpenAI, they called it O. But I kind of like the word Omni because O and zero, people sometimes use those interchangeably. So in this, you can do so many things. However, if you've never logged into ChatGPT, this is openai.com/ChatGPT/. And what you see are a list of things you can ask ChatGPT, the bot, something to do. You can ask it a question and it will give you an output. You can ask it a different prompt or it's just a statement, like, or ask it to do something for you. And either one, are there transactions? And in that transaction, it's kind of like a mathematics function. You have an input and an output. If I ask you this, then you possibly will give me something in return. So when you are here, it says start now. You can select start now and log in however you like through your Google account. You can create it outside of a connection with another platform. And you can also choose any of these prompts. And if you notice, when I hover over a prompt, that line stops moving, which I really appreciate. So, help me study vocabulary for a college entrance exam, or write a message that goes with a kitten gift for a friend on a rough day. Like, you can send somebody a text message and add a gift. Well, you can say it's a cat gift. Here's a message. Or design a programming game, teach basics in a fun way. But let's find something simple. So create a personal web page, create a morning routine to boost my productivity. So let's select this. And what I like is that you don't even have to log in anymore. Like, it normally just does it. Now I'm logged in, so it's automatically going to go to my logged in platform. But even if you don't log in, it'll just do it for you. Now, notice that it went right to 3.5. Now, if I go to 4.0, it will do it for me, but it went to my free version, and 3.5 is the free version. So this is, again, something you can do for fun. I highly recommend it. If you've never used ChatGPT as a teacher, I recommend that you go here first so that you can learn it, because one day students are going to have access in school districts. Right now, OpenAI is saying 18 and older. If you go through the enterprise, you should work as a district with your lawyers. You should have a scope and sequence, a policy on how to use it so that students aren't using it just to create the work for them, because a lot of people are very afraid of students cheating. Well, people cheat, and we just have to teach them how to not cheat. And one of the things I'd like to do is I'm going to go to, actually, this is my live version, or my version, my website, even though it took me to it here. Either way is fine. What I want to show you is that I can ask it to write me an essay on, let's see, Shakespeare's sonnets, like, and it'll write me an essay. Now this is a simple essay. Notice it's giving me markdowns. What's a markdown? It's a bold, bullet, italicize, underline. It's an organization, maybe headers, footers, things like that. So it's organizing it for me. What I like about this is one, it's showing me it could do the work for me. Now, I remember I loved my Shakespeare course in college. And oh my gosh, like what it would have done for me to help me understand sonnets better. However, the problem solving and the critical thinking will be slightly different. So let's say I'm studying Shakespeare. Maybe I'm looking at one of the plays. Maybe it's Hamlet. Maybe I'm A Midsummer's Night Dream, and I want to help me understand the themes because, and it will. But here's the thing: even if I were to ask ChatGPT to do that for me, um, give me a new outline of themes for a Midsummer's Night Dream. I did that midsummer. It even corrected me. Midsummer Night's Dream. So it's giving me an outline. It's giving me a play outline, the nature of love, romantic love, love and marriage. And then you can say, is this a comedy? And then I can say, I want to read this from my perspective. Give me recommendations to look for. Let's spell this right. So here's the thing. The people who program ChatGPT have their inner thoughts and their ideas and they find data that's already out in mainframes, other platforms. Right now, ChatGPT does have access to online platforms, Omni and 4.0 and 4, but that's their perspective. So if you're teaching students about plagiarism and teaching them about cheating and using your own critical thinking, this can enhance it. But what would be the argument of how can I combat the online structure compared to what my thoughts are? Like, how can I read this knowing Chat GPT can integrate all this knowledge? I want to give me questions to challenge the above as I read. Like this, these are things you could help students with. And I truly believe that ChatGPT is a place for you to challenge reading and challenge problem solving and critical thinking. It's also a great place to have good conversations with students because they're going to figure it out and use it. And I was guest lecturing in a doctorate program at one of the California state schools. And one of the students who happens to be a professor of, I believe it's a psychology class or possibly an English course. And students are turning in work that ChatGPT did for them. And you clearly know it's not their work. Like it was collegiate level and this was an introductory course. So what can you do to help students realize that is this your work? Did you process through it? And what can you do differently to help students really understand how to use ChatGPT? So these are some things that I love what it did for me. And then up here, so if you're new to ChatGPT, whether you're here, whether you can select new chat. Now, all my chats are here, right here in the sidebar. The other thing that I wanted to show you quickly is that this is the download. Like this is ChatGPT's platform on my computer. So as long as I have, I can log in and just start asking ChatGPT questions without being on the web platform. And notice that it looks slightly different. I can select this. It gives me all of my GPTs that I created. Um, Again, I highly recommend the science teacher one or the next generation science teacher one. And then you're like, well, where are all your chats? Well, I can select over here. I can select new chat here, and I can find all of my chats. So let's just it's thinking right now because I know I can find them. Let's ask it a question. This time I'm going to ask it, help me with um addition, subtraction language of the discipline. I teach grade 1. So what I'm looking for is, I'm going to see if it'll give it to me. I'm looking for words like, you are missing, let's see, let me see if it'll do it. So it's giving me some of the language of the discipline, like the word minus, which I like to use the difference or takeaway, because minus can be a noun, meaning that's the actual symbol. Um, it also can mean to subtract, take away. So you have to decide when you tell students, is this a verb or a noun? And I know I spelled those words wrong. So now I'm telling it like an add-in, equation, total, subtrahend. I actually spelled it right. Well, minuend, remainder, like those words, like defining those words for young children is a good idea. And then words like subitize, like you can subitize because you can see this is 10. You typically can't subitize groups of 7s. Well, maybe you can. So, and it gives you some examples, like as a teacher, giving me the language of the discipline of what I'm teaching so that I'm using it in the classroom. This is absolutely something that I think is amazing. And I highly recommend doing this and having a whole lot of fun with it. So if you are an educator and you really want to understand what we're doing in education and what we're doing differently, and I want to go to my live only because I want to make sure that I'm still live, you can decide, what are we doing with education? What are we going to do differently so that we can help our students become really good in the classroom? But the reason why I implore you as a teacher to get in front of ChatGPT and just start playing with it is just like when Google came out, just like when you get training in student information systems, grade books, when you are using universal screeners or online platforms like Canva with students or Google Docs, Google Drive. We want to know how to help our students get better, like Google Classroom. You getting in front of ChatGPT will help you become really good at helping students use it ethically, using it to help them problem solve and think through things. And then my hope is that OpenAI will create a platform where it's not doing the work for students. So it is attached to, say, your Google platform, Clever or ClassLink, and they log in that way. So this just helping them like a tutor. Now, Conmingo or Khan Academy has that. Right now, I think it's like $44 a month. So, I mean, that's steep, even from my perspective. And I don't know what it would be for a school district. I'm like, for each seat, I'm like, maybe it should be $2.99 per student because it can be a tutor for students and but you need to get in front of it. So as a teacher, I would think you need to give it to us for free. Okay, maybe not, maybe for a small amount because the company still has to run, but just something to think about. So what I want to do is thank all of you for hanging out with me this morning on this live YouTube. Please make sure you like and subscribe and comment and come back often and let me know what you think about generative AI. I am going to be starting to talk about the science of learning and what that looks like from a generative approach and just the neuroplasticity of education and the science